Listen carefully, because in this 911 call, she whispers one sentence: "I'm alone." But when investigators enhance the audio, they hear a second voice. A voice that shouldn't exist. And that turns a simple emergency call into a nightmare question. If she wasn't alone, who was in the room with her? Tonight's case is fictional but realistic, told like a real investigation. We're going to break down what the caller said, what the audio suggests, what police found, and the timeline that exposes what really happened. And I want you to play detective with me, because by the end, you'll have to decide, was the second voice real? Or was it something that only sounds like a voice? Section 1. The call, 1:10 to 4 o'clock. It's a Tuesday night, just after 10:30 p.m. A woman in her late 20s, let's call her Lena, dials 911 from a dark apartment. When dispatch answers, Lena is not screaming. She's whispering, like she's trying not to be heard. She gives her address quickly. Then the dispatcher asks the most basic question: "Are you alone?" There's a pause, and Lena whispers, "Yes, I'm alone." Then she adds, "But someone is outside my door." The dispatcher tells her, "Stay on the line. Lock yourself in a room." Lena says she is in her bedroom. She says she can hear movement. She says the door handle tapped, like someone tested it. And then the call takes a strange turn. The dispatcher asks, "Do you see anyone?" Lena answers, "No." And then she goes quiet. Not like a normal quiet, like she's listening. Then she whispers again, "I think they got in." Dispatcher, "Ma'am, are you still alone in the apartment?" Lena, "Yes." But right there, under her whisper, something faint happens. It's quick. It's low. It sounds like a second voice. Not the dispatcher. Not Lena. A background sound, almost like a person saying something under their breath. And in the moment, the dispatcher doesn't catch it. But the recording catches it. Section 2. The first response, 4 to 6:10. Police arrive within minutes. Lights off. Quiet approach. They knock. No answer. They announce. Still nothing. So they get permission to enter. And when they step inside, the apartment looks normal. No broken window. No forced lock. No obvious struggle. But Lena is found in the bedroom. Alive. Shaking. Holding her phone. Officers ask, "Did you see anyone?" Lena says no. They ask, "Did anyone come inside?" Lena says she isn't sure. She heard something and panicked. They ask about the second voice. Lena looks confused. What second voice? She insists she was alone. And that's the first big contradiction. Lena says she's alone. The scene shows no forced entry. But the audio might suggest someone else was there. So the case splits into two possibilities. Lena truly was alone, and the second voice is a false sound. Lena wasn't alone, and someone was close enough to whisper. Section 3. The audio problem, 6:10 to 8:40. Here's what most people don't realize. 911 audio is messy. Calls compress sound. Background noise distorts. A rustle can sound like a word. A TV can sound like a person. A neighbor can bleed through walls. And it gets even trickier because people want to hear something. Your brain is a pattern machine. It turns chaos into meaning. That's why real-world voice analysis in court can be controversial and difficult. Experts often disagree on what's actually heard in distressed recordings. You can see this kind of expert disagreement discussed around famous 911 audio evidence cases, like the Zimmerman trial coverage. CBS News. So investigators do the right thing. They don't rely on one listener. They pull the audio. They isolate segments. They listen with multiple people. And they ask 3 questions. Is the sound consistent across copies? Is it coming from Lena's mic or the dispatcher feed? Does it match a human voice pattern or ambient noise? And in one 3-second segment, multiple listeners agree. It sounds like a male voice. So, close, fast, almost like one phrase. Not loud enough to clearly transcribe, but enough to be disturbing. Because if that is a human voice, it's near Lena. Section 4. The reconstruction, 8:40 to 11:20. Now detectives recreate the apartment. They check what could generate that sound. They test possibilities. A TV playing in another room, a phone speaker artifact, a neighbor through a thin wall, a radio, a video autoplaying. They find something important. Lena's TV is off. Her laptop is closed. No music. No podcast. And the apartment walls? They're thick enough that you can hear noise, sure, but not a clear whispered phrase. So now the second voice becomes harder to dismiss. Then they inspect the entry points again. Still no forced entry. But there is one thing. The door latch is old. Sometimes it doesn't fully catch unless you pull it tight. Meaning, if Lena thought she locked it, she might not have. And that opens a terrifying theory. Someone could have entered quietly, without breaking anything, while Lena was on the phone. Which means that the whisper, "I'm alone," could have been not true, or not safe to say. Section 5. The turning point, 11:20 to 13:30. Detectives pull Lena's recent communications. Nothing dramatic. No threats. No obvious stalker. But they do find one detail. Lena texted a friend earlier that day. "My ex keeps showing up near my building." She didn't call police. She didn't file a report. She just mentioned it. Now, to be clear, this alone doesn't prove anything, but it gives investigators a direction. They pull building footage. A camera catches a figure in a hoodie entering the lobby around the time of the call. Face unclear, but height and build consistent with a man. And here's the chilling part. He doesn't force the door. He tailgates behind another resident. Like he belongs. He takes the stairs, not the elevator. And the camera does not catch him leaving. Now the timeline starts to lock. Lena calls 911 whispering that a man is seen entering the building around that time. That a second voice appears on the call. No forced entry is found. And a person is unaccounted for. Which raises the question. V was inside. Where did he go? Section 6. The explanations, 13:30 to 14:45. At this point, investigators put the case into 3 realistic theories. Theory A, audio illusion. The sound is misheard noise, compression artifact, rustle, or bleed through. Theory B, someone outside the door. The second voice is in the hallway, close enough to be picked up faintly. Theory C, someone inside the room. The voice is near Lena, meaning she wasn't alone. And each theory leads to a different conclusion. A is fear plus misinterpretation. B is stalking plus near contact. C is immediate danger. So here's my question to you. If you were the detective, what would you check next to prove it? Rebuild the audio with enhancement and compare device copies. B. Pull stairwell cameras and exit routes. C. Check the door latch history and prior complaints. D. Interview the ex and test guilty knowledge details. Comment A, B, C, or D. And if you want part 2 of this case, where we reveal what the stairwell camera caught and why the second voice mattered, type voice in the comments and subscribe. Because the next part has the one detail that turns this from creepy into confirmed.